Hey, y'all, listen, welcome in the building, welcome in the building, welcome in the building. It's Thursday night trending topics, December the 4th, and I'm so glad that y'all spending time with the Diva. We got stuff to talk about tonight. The trending topics is called Oh My. Oh My. Listen, if you're a parent, a grandparent, a auntie, a uncle, a godmother, father, whatever, and you have the ability to save your godchildren, your children, help them out, give them a helping hand. This dad saves his daughters from the high New York City rent by purchasing a place for them, $200K out there in Maryland, so that his two daughters would not be suffering paying $2,800 a month for rent. A piece, not together. So God bless Dad. Dad came to the rescue. I thought it was a good story. And we have a lot of heavy stories. And I said, this is a good one to talk about. So I'm bringing that one to y'all tonight. Then we got, let me tell y'all something. It's not, people say, what is that saying about the root of money is the root of all evil? I don't believe and subscribe to that. I believe your love of money in the wrong way is the root of evil. You want money so bad, you steal your co-worker's lottery ticket that was worth $20K and you cash it in. You really that desperate? $20,000 is nothing. And I'm saying that respectfully, nothing to be going to jail behind. $20,000, you're going to blow it in a poof. And when you have a lottery ticket and it's worth $20,000, when the taxes come out, you might be getting 10. You might get 10 of that. The taxes is very high on those winnings. I think it's like 40% or something like that. It's a crazy number. But you're not getting all 20,000 if you won 20,000. I don't understand people. To God be the glory. I'm not that desperate. I'm comfortable in my humble surroundings. I love and I'm grateful for everything that I have. And another good thing with me, I ain't jealous of nobody. If you got more than me, I'm happy for you too. And I'm not trying to cover what you have. And by the way, people behind me, this plan is real. Y'all know I had several plants behind me. Now listen, this is a side note. I'm trying to become the plant whisperer, the plant mommy over here. So far, she's doing well. Keep the prayers up for me, okay? She back there doing a good job. I love her. Come on, hang in there, boo. We're going to do this together, all right? So we're going to talk about the lottery ticket scandal. The biggest story I got, and I may do that one first because I got a lot of clips and videos to show with that one, this Romeca Blackmon story. We did this story over here. The story where the young lady is one man and two ladies, and everybody in this situation lost. We got the mother bringing her son to school. We got the other baby mother somehow ends up at the school. We got Romeca Blackmon lost her life. And the other baby mother took her life. And for 3 months, she was not arrested. And Romeca's family was hot, mad, want to know why this chick did not get arrested. But she got arrested and she's charged with first-degree murder. One of the sickening parts I heard about this story is allegedly, after she took Romeca's life, her and the baby daddy did a fist bump. Let me tell you something. If I meet a man that has children from a previous relationship, the first thing I need to know is, do you get along with the baby mama or mamas? And if you don't, I'm going to take a pass. And if you were supposed to be my chosen one, I'll know when I meet my maker. But if you are saying disrespectful things about your previous baby mamas, I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing for you. If you are trying to get me to engage with treating one of your ex-baby mamas wrong, I ain't got nothing for you. If you are sitting with me constantly talking about and saying bad things about your other baby mama, I'm good. I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing for you. So here you are. You got into it with his baby mama. He free. You behind bars. And the girl is pregnant. She's 7 weeks pregnant. Just like that chick that flew from New York to Florida. She killed the other girl that her baby father was messing with. Now she doing life in prison. I ain't never gonna love no man more than I love me. There ain't no way in this world. And trust me, if it's between me and some other chick, she won. I'm good. You go ahead, be over there. No. No. She doing life in prison, the other chick. And this chick right here, that's 7 weeks pregnant, she probably about to do life in prison to it. All for what? All for what? You took somebody's life for what? Did you try to plead with the judge because she pregnant? There's been plenty of women that have had their babies in jail, and I don't know, a family member come pick up the newborn or whatever. Girl, you getting locked up. And that judge said for somebody to fist bump somebody after somebody else got shot don't deserve to be in the streets. I'll never understand it. I ain't got no argument for your ex-baby mama or mamas or your ex-girlfriend. I'm not going to speak to them in a derogatory way. I ain't got no smoke for them. And if you got smoke for them and every time we together all you can talk about is done, I'm good. This is a sad situation all the way around. All the way around. And if we could help say one person over here, to every young lady out there, young, old, or anything in between, if a man is constantly talking to you about the ex, run and don't look back. Run and don't look back. I'm nobody's counselor. I ain't here to counsel you on your ex. I ain't here to have a discussion with you about your ex. I'm not doing it. I'll take a pass. Be in my house alone, safe. Because I don't want her coming punching me. I ain't going to be punching on her. I ain't fighting over nobody's man. Well, that's Michael Jackson's song. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm not doing all that. I'll take a pass. We're going to talk about it, people. But in the meantime, y'all know what I need in the chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Oh My. We got the dad saving his daughters, putting out $200K to get them a place because he refused to let them dump their money on the $2,800 rent per month. Holler at this father. We got the lottery ticket thief, and we got Romeca Blackmon seeing some type of justice. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all, hit the like button for the Diva.
Hit the like button. Thank you. And Katrina, you got to figure out, I don't know what's going on with your computer. It won't let you in, but try again. I'm going to start with this Romeca Blackmon story because it's a couple videos. And you know how the videos top my computer. So I want to play those first. So let's get right into this and play close attention because like I told you, she is actually 7 weeks pregnant now. So let's take a listen.
Week here, the case of Romeca Blackmon, and this goes back several months, and you have followed it the entire way. So walk us through how we got to today.
So how we got to today is yesterday at 3:25 in the afternoon. I was working on something completely different, got a phone call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office letting me know these charges were indeed filed and that Quadajah Johnson, who was the person accused in all of this of shooting Romeca Blackmon, was going to be charged at that moment with first-degree murder and that she would appear in court today. So fast forward to today is when the actual hearing happened. And we found out a lot of, decent information inside that courtroom. One being that Quadajah Johnson and Romeca Blackmon, we already knew that they shared the same father of their children.
Correct.
So, Quadajah has a child, a very young child, and Romeca Blackmon at the time of her death had a 6-year-old who has now turned 7. He literally turned 7 shortly after his mother was killed. With that being said, we also found out that Quadajah Johnson is indeed pregnant at this moment, 7 weeks pregnant, and her attorneys really tried to drive home that point with the judge in court today for her to be released.
Yeah.
The judge made some pretty straight up statements, one being that when this shooting happened, at one point, the actual alleged shooter, Quadajah Johnson in this case, fist bumped the father that she and Romeca Blackmon have in common with their children, fist bumped him after the shooting. And the judge said, someone like that, basically, I'm essentially gonna, melt down his words into essentially what he said, does not deserve to be out roaming the streets. I think that's a very inflammatory thing to find out from witnesses that happened.
Yeah.
And witnesses, I do want to point out the fact that in this case, you got to give it up to the witnesses here to even get us to this point in this case. Because even in the video that you saw, the aftermath of the shooting, these officers that responded, they responded to a chaotic scene. And many of them looked like this may have been the first day on the job. I mean, quite frankly, not really understanding who was the shooter, not really understanding who were the witnesses, people walking through the crime scene. We saw that in the video. And so the witnesses said, hey, that's the shooter. That's the person you need to be arresting. That's the person that you need to look out for. And another thing that came out in court in terms of what witnesses saw and heard, they said after that first shot was fired, there was a pause. Why is that important? Somebody may say, okay, why is that important? That's important because you fire one shot at someone, they're down, you pause, and then you ramp up again, and other shots are then fired.
Are they saying that's the reason for the premeditated? Obviously, first degree murder would be premeditated. Right. Is that so? The second shot, they're saying premeditated because you thought about it to shoot again?
Well, in this case, that was not made officially clear in the courtroom, but that was brought up as witnesses stepping up and how this case has really unfolded. And because of that, the judge did not feel like Quadajah Johnson, no matter pregnant or not, does not deserve to be out here walking the streets.
And that was one of the big issues. I mean, obviously the biggest issue is that a life was lost. So let's say that, but that was one of the big issues going back to the day that this happened. Even though the police came and there was an arrest, she was released.
She was released.
Someone had lost their life and she was released.
And that is how we got involved in the story. So the shooting happened September 8th. She's released. I get a call from a friend of the family member that happens to know my family, being in Chicago. And they're like, hey, have you heard about this story? Is this something that you would cover? And I'm like, yes, I've heard about the story. We've all been wondering what's happening in the course of this investigation. And so that is how the connection even happened. So September 8th, the shooting and killing happens. September 23rd, I do the story. And from there after, I'll give it to the people. They really made sure I would get emails constantly because, like you said, it is a case that so many people have questions about. I would get emails constantly saying, is there an update? Is there an update? So every time I got a message, I sent that to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and they would always respond, and they would say, no, this is a, ongoing investigation. We're still investigating. And one of the issues that came up in this is that Quadajah Johnson had filed, and I believe the date is June. She filed in June an actual order of protection against Romeca Blackmon, saying that she was indeed the aggressor coming after her, is what she was alleging. We actually found some paperwork. Now, mind you, there could be several different orders of protections, but in this particular case, one of the orders of protection that we definitely can confirm existed was never delivered to Romeca Blackmon. In fact, every time the sheriff's, I believe it was the Sheriff's Department of Cook County, and I'll go back and review this, but a sheriff's department, just to be safe, tried to deliver this, they could never make contact. And in fact, they tried to deliver it after she was passed on.
Okay, so let's the day that the shooting took place, Romeca was going to drop off her son. Is that correct?
She had already dropped off her son
and was coming out of there.
And was coming out.
And how did they? What caused them to interact?
So here's what's interesting about this, and there's so many different narratives about how this played out. So the father that both of these women share, his home is blocks going south from where, I believe it's south from where the school is located. And I've heard different narratives. If you look at the video, you see Romeca Blackmon's car, and I think I'm correct on this, kind of going back to our original story, in the street. You see Quadajah Johnson's car kind of like behind, I think it was parked on the street or behind her. And so the idea was this a situation where she saw her and hopped out of the car? Was it the reverse? Was she then blocked in? That's the question. That's some of the stuff we don't officially know, because that's all been hearsay. We have, and mind you, I did have witnesses' phone numbers, but I could never get them on the phone to actually say what they saw. So that was all hearsay of why the car was this way. Was it that Romeca jumped out? Was it that Quadajah blocked her in? And whatever happened, there was an altercation. And in court today, that did come out that in fact the father had Blackmon in a chokehold during the course of this dispute that's unfolding.
And how did he get to the location at the time of the dispute?
He lives a couple of streets down.
And he came out?
So that is unknown. Was he riding in the car with Quadajah Johnson? Was he walking down the street? Keep in mind, it's cold now, but it was not cold at the time. Were they waiting for her? I mean, there's a lot of different questions about that we don't officially have those answers to.
But somehow he hopped in the middle.
Somehow he got into the middle of it, puts Romeca Blackmon, who is a very small framed woman, in a chokehold, ends up the other mother of his child ends up shooting her, and they fist bump. My question now is, and this is the email that I sent after learning these details to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, is he going to be charged?
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Is he an accessory? Is he, is he an accomplice in all of this? Because just based on the details you hear in court, it would make you ask the question, well, where's this guy at?
Right.
Is he going to, I mean, is there now you have to look at the totality of the case. Is there now an agreement that he's now going to be the key witness to testify against Quadajah Johnson? That's all, up in the air, but definitely worth a lot of questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how he ended up there at that time. If he had her in a chokehold, was he holding her for something that happened to her? Or will his excuse be, I was trying to break them up and it just looked like that? Or, I mean, that, you don't
know how that'll play out.
You don't.
I do want to go back to something, because this idea of this order of protection has come up and, during the course of reporting here at 532 and around the country. The questions of an order of protection come up, and people are like, that's just literally a sheet of paper. And in this case, when I spoke to the family of Romeca Blackmon, they were under the impression that order of protection that was filed by Quadajah Johnson was essentially a play, like preparing for what could come next, preparing for the fact that she had threatened her before, and kind of creating this paper trail to make her look like she would be, redeemed in a case of if she did pull the trigger, because she is concealed carry holder. She has a license to carry a weapon. So that's the family's position on this. I think it's going to be really interesting. The next hearing is December 23rd, I believe is this date. It's going to be really interesting to hear as more details come out.
And is she arguing self-defense?
I don't remember what her argument was officially, but it had been self-defense. So today, I don't know if she entered an official, this is, I'm innocent. I didn't hear that, but she has argued up until this point, because though I never interviewed her, okay, I never interviewed her. I want to make that very clear. I did hear from a relative of Quadajah Johnson, and I gave that relative, I said, listen, this is a platform that believes in fair and being balanced, right? So if Quadajah Johnson feels like, because her name had been run through the mud on social media prior to us ever getting to this point, and she felt like that was wrong. She felt like, why is my name being brought into this and I haven't been charged, et cetera. And I told the family member, well, listen, we never mentioned her name. That's social media sleuths, and they have the right to go on social media.
And we had nothing to do with that.
And we had nothing to do with that. And I said, we leave this platform open for her to speak. I know at one point she had hired a lawyer, and that the lawyer had told her, do not say anything, let this play out. And so during that communication with the family member, it was very clear to me that she felt like this was self-defense, and that she also felt like she was getting a bad rep, in the social media streets, and that she felt like she was the person that had been threatened by Romeca Blackmon.
So her story
it sounds like it's gonna be, she was fighting me.
Yeah, that she hopped out, I was going on about my way. She hops out, comes at me. I am a concealed carry holder, and I had the right to, protect my life.
But here's the question, and this is, the debate that has existed since this has happened. I'm a concealed carry holder. If someone starts hitting me, and we're about the same size, because they're about the same size. They're both pretty petite individuals. At what point is it okay and lawfully, speaking about the law, not what we fabricate in our minds, not what we think, at what point legally is it okay for me to then go grab my gun and shoot you off of a fight?
Yeah, and I guess if you're, and maybe we don't have the exact point at which she retrieved the gun. Was the gun on her when the fight was happening, or did she leave and come back?
That's a good question. And at one point, we do know in the video that the witnesses said, hey, she just put the gun in the car. She just took the gun back to the car, which makes me think, well, I don't know if that meant, she had it on her person. If you're a concealed carry holder, you could, you may have it, stored in your car. You may have it, on your person hidden. So we don't know that part of the story. Again, more details will come from this. But at what point, if the father's out there, and if this is true, the judge said
the fist bump
and the chokehold, that the dad that they share together had her in a chokehold. What do you need to pull your gun out for?
If there's someone who is actively helping you. So today, obviously these, and you mentioned a couple of things. I want to talk about the fact that there were a lot of supporters for both of these women who have shown up in all of this.
Overwhelmingly, looking at the crowd, Romeca's favorite color apparently was pink, because you saw just about everyone wearing pink. They had to move the courtroom because of the overwhelming response. Not only has the response been overwhelming online, but in reality here in the city of Chicago, this has impacted a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. But I think overwhelmingly Romeca had support, but there was supporters there for Quadajah Johnson. It is a horrible situation.
All around.
If anything we could learn from this is, if the man got you going through this kind of stuff, it's time to let him go. I mean, honestly, if he got you fighting this mother, and you both have a child, don't you want your siblings to be brother and sister, or brothers, or whatever the dynamics are, versus this? That child did not deserve to come out of that school just feet away from his mother, being shot in the face, to never see his mother again. That child didn't deserve that. And now Quadajah Johnson has a child in the world with no mother. And may not have a father. Right. And then a baby in the womb. What happens to that baby? I mean, the whole story, I think, is what has drawn so many people to it, because it just shows like what we learn when you're growing up. You've heard a parent or somebody in your life say, leave that man alone. And it's unfortunate that it's ended with 2 lives, very young, beautiful women, both of them, lives being completely destroyed because one made what sounds like, listen, allegedly, right? A really stupid, emotional decision. And that's why they tell you often, you know, I have kids and I tell my kids, I say, every decision you make counts. Every last one of them. And never get caught up in your emotions when you make decisions because you're high on emotions. I'm gonna get you when I see you, kind of stupid stuff. And now look.
And you know, there's so much to come from this. And again, at the end of the day, there are children involved.
That's the horrible part.
You know, that's the next generation, and there are ripple effects to all of this. So we watched just a piece of when the hearing today ended, and Romeca's family, her mother and many of the other family members came out of the courtroom. They were smiling.
They were happy.
They were happy about what happened today.
They didn't
and
believe
where this
me
is
when
at this point.
So I called them because I felt like if it were me, and I got a call that a family member of mine died, and you know, I never knew what was happening, you know, because it's one thing I think when the media calls to get answers, it seems like things move a little faster, versus when an everyday person is calling for the answers, it seems like you're waiting. And so as soon as I got that call, I had one of the family members call the mom, and she initially didn't believe it. She was like, is this real? Because this has been almost 3 months.
They've been waiting for it.
They've been waiting for a while. And so she cried, she processed that, and then she said, when is the court, you know, when is the court date? And so, you know, we'll see how this plays out. You know, I think this is just I think what should happen from this is that if you have a daughter, a young teenage daughter,
what? Honestly, a daughter or a son,
or grown or son,
you know,
I was going to get into that too. Young, old, maybe like not quite 30. This is a good time to show them this story because believe it or not, it's a lot of people resonate with this story because they've been in it. Right. Or they've seen somebody be foolish in love and things happen and it goes left. And I think that this is a good reminder of, I can't say what I really want to say, but don't let a loser bring you down. Because this is really what it sounds like.
You know, we'll continue to follow it.
Allegedly.
I know you.
You gotta use that word. Don't come suing
Keep
me.
us in the clear. I know that you will continue to follow it. It is honestly very sad on many levels, but we appreciate you staying on top of it. I know a lot of people have found you know, interest in it for many different reasons. So thank you for staying on top of it.
That's our job, right?
It is.
That's why we collect that paycheck. So been my pleasure to follow it. So.
All right. Tia Ewing, everybody, and you'll see her at 4, 5, and 9 this evening when she wraps everything up. All right, it's 2:33. We'll be right back.
Oh, I thought Ms. Kane-J, I thought they did a good job too, because it's a very sensitive topic. Let me just share the screen again. Hold on one second, just to give a little bit more.
Right, Joe and Erica. The judge says this is the first time he's had to change the courtrooms for more space because it was standing room only. Family and friends all wearing pink shirts to represent 31-year-old Romeca Blackmon.
Justice for Meeks! Justice for Meeks!
It's a day Tina McMiller has been looking forward to for a long time.
This has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. It's been terrible. I mean, we've been torn apart.
Her daughter, 31-year-old Romeca Blackmon, was shot and killed after prosecutors say an argument escalated with 31-year-old Quadajah Johnson on September 8th. Just months later, Johnson, who was 7 weeks pregnant, was arrested and charged with her murder.
I just want justice. I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't want to argue with nobody. I just want justice for my daughter. And I want peace in my family.
In court today, the assistant state's attorney says Blackmon dropped off her 6-year-old son at school near Cermak and State. The baby's father, identified in court documents as witness 1, had just parked nearby with Johnson and their 6-month-old child in the vehicle. There was a verbal argument between the women. The baby's father tried to break it up, but then, according to prosecutors, became physical with Blackmon, putting her in a chokehold. The assistant state's attorney says Johnson then walked back to her car, got her gun, and shot Blackmon multiple times, then fist bumped the baby's father.
It won't bring her back, but it will be a little piece now. It feel like a big bundle just been lifted off my head and my heart.
We should note that last year, Johnson, the suspect, filed a stalking no-contact order against the victim. The order of protection was granted in July, but was never served. Johnson does have her FOID card and concealed carry license. She claims self-defense, but the judge says celebrating in the streets after shooting someone is not self-defense. Reporting in the newsroom, Sade Gray, CBS News, Chicago.
Whew. Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving weekend. I don't have too many thoughts. I'm worn out from them two women. I might as well have been sitting out on my stoop listening to them. But what I do find interesting here is that the boyfriend is witness number one. So he has turned state evidence on the woman he's been laying up with and has allegedly gotten pregnant for a second time. So I'd like to take this moment to kind of reach out to the folks who want to hear my voice and what I'm going to say. When a person invites you into immoral behavior, they don't care for you and they don't love you. They don't value you. So after all this has happened, because I don't believe a fist bump is guilt or not guilt. I'm again, but from what the people saw on the street and the loss to this young boy of his mother, you decided you would continue to lay down with a demon and conceive their demon seed and now take it to the jail. They don't care for you. They don't love you. They don't value your children. No, they don't. So she has a little one. Based on 3 months ago, the little one is maybe going on a year. And now she's pregnant with a second. It's a very sad day. And it's sad for both families. But for Miss Tina, she's going to get some peace. And I'm happy for her. Some justice. And I'm elated for her. I'm done.
Appreciate you. This what I'm about to say, just my general thought. First of all, I personally don't like pow-pows, and I don't want one. I don't even want to be in a state where I can be licensed to have one. I'm just not interested, but that's just me, right? But if I was doing something in self-defense, and this is just Diva talking, I'm doing something in self-defense, and I go in to me, even we say it with the cops, right? We say when cops are trying to detain somebody, why do they have to pow to kill? Why not get them in the leg? That'll stop them. Why not try to get them in the foot? That'll stop them. She run off multiple pows on this girl. And then you fist bump, because it's in the court documents. You fist bump the baby daddy afterwards? Don't sound like self-defense to me. Julius, your thoughts?
It ain't self-defense. And I said this at the time, and Katrina said this at the time. She would have had to been at the car. It's said again. She walked with her two flubberly legs.
Come on.
I'm going to say that part again because I don't think no one heard me. She walked back to her car with her flubberly legs to retrieve the pow, to unalive this girl. And the law states that is intent. Correct me if I'm wrong, my legal scholars. That is intent to unalive, to harm, and so forth. And don't even get me started on the man. because he should be clinked up and locked up too. And I want to co-sign and expand upon what Miss Felicia said, and I want to speak to the ladies. Ladies, know your worth. If a man is treating the mother of his child wrong, maybe you need to sit back and think, something ain't right here. Why is she spazzing out like this? For what? And then coming at me all crazy. What is he doing? But see, we don't want to hold the man accountable. Always the other lady. It's time to hold the man accountable, and he should be clinked up and charged too. To Mother Tina. Blessed Mother Tina. My heart hurts for her. And I hope she gets the justice and the comfort, and that she needs to remember that her daughter is in the comfort of our Lord, unfortunately. And I hope that it will bring comfort to her family, knowing that this person is finally, and Diva, correct me if I'm wrong, is she held behind bars currently, or did she bail out?
No, she's locked up.
She is locked up. She is off the street. Hallelujah. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah. And that wannabe man needs to be locked up too. The fist pump? Y'all had this planned. Y'all knew she was a hothead. Y'all knew how to set her off. Y'all knew how to provoke her. I'm getting a clearer story now as more if it comes out, because I knew something wasn't right with it. Y'all set this up, and y'all deserve to go down. To Mother Tina, I'm praying for
you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So now I can honestly say with my whole chest that this was a plan that they cooked up. It ain't no way you gonna tell me you felt threatened enough that you had to go back to your car. You fired one shot. You took time out to think about it, while your baby daddy, that's her baby daddy, is holding her in a chokehold. And then you fire again. And after it's over, y'all fist bump. And this mama, all she sees is her baby laying on the ground in a pool of her own blood. And people hollering, that's the one. She killed her. She got the pow in the car. And the police looking like boo-boo food. They has terrorized this whole family for 3 months. Anybody that heard this story that was fighting for justice have been terrorized, wondering when was justice gonna come for her. And the only thing this son's gonna have is that last message she left on his lunch. I do want this baby daddy locked up. I do feel like this is a conspiracy that they cooked up together. Because you had no reason to be at the school. She was taking her kid to school. What was your reason for being there?
You better talk about it.
So if it wasn't a conspiracy, I'm going to need to know how in the world on the first day of school, you accidentally run up on your baby mama at the school you know your child go to. And it was an accident that you put her in a chokehold, and this woman sits there and lays into her. And then y'all sit there and fist bump and play for the cameras and tell them you sorry.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, Cat. I've been saying this from the get-go. There was not no self-defense. And then I just heard the story was the guy walked to the school and the girlfriend drove up. So if the dad is there and you're not even in the car with her, why is she coming to the school in the first place? Because he drove up. So, it's not like she brought him to the school. He walked down from the street to the school. And you drove up. And the thing that gets me is when, like I said before, she went back to the car and got the pow pow and came out and pow this girl. Why she was being contained by this guy? And the reason why I feel like he sided up because he was mad because the girl moved on, and he's telling this girl that he's with now is, oh, she did this and she did that. So he's setting her up to fight her. Because there's no possible way you didn't know that this other girl, your other baby mama, didn't have a pow on her. You sought this up. You wanted her gone. You basically wanted her gone. And basically, you want this one gone too. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have turned state evidence on her so you could stay out of jail and she gone.
We don't know.
Okay, well, he's a witness. We don't know how he did it, but anyway, he's a witness for the state. But anyway, the thing of it is, you holding your baby mama when you could have de-escalated the situation from what to happen. You could have said, "Now you going back into your car. You go on this way." I honestly believe he wanted something like this to go down because they said that she stopped taking care of him because she was giving him more money than he was giving her, and she moved on and she was trying to make a life of herself, and he didn't like it. She moved on without him. And for the baby mama that came up behind, you stupid as on no what. You just totally dumb. You up here fighting for a man who probably still in love with the first baby mama. And that's what you feel. You felt that. Because there's no way in your right mind that you would come to a school and fight somebody when you didn't have to be there. This is totally sick on so many levels. And I said before, that was not no self-defense. She deserved to go down. I feel sorry for these kids because they are the only ones, and the parents. I do feel sorry for the parents. I feel sorry for the kids. But the girl that came out there and did that, I even feel sorry for your mama. Because I don't know how she raised you, but basically you're a fool. You let this man got yourself into this situation, and now you finna be gone. The other one is in the ground, and he's finna be free to do whatever he wants to do. He's still gonna do what he was doing the whole time that he was messing with both of y'all. This is sad on so many levels, and it's just ridiculous. You both of y'all gone for what? Over him? For somebody who else can go out and get another woman? Child, please. But rest in peace to the young lady and condolences to the families. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is nuts. And I do from the information that we have, it does kind of sound like they plotted this. Like, okay, we're gonna bait her into this fight, and then when she fights you, then we could just pow her next time or whatever because you have this conceal and carry license. Not really knowing that that's not how self-defense works. So, it's sad. I don't know what the real motivation was behind this. I don't know if he wanted custody of the kid or like someone just said, maybe he was just jealous that this woman had moved on. But I do think that there was some sort of plot here to get rid of her. I don't believe that this was any sort of self-defense, not with the information that we have now. This is sad. This did not have to happen. The only thing I can say is that I wish that people would realize that life does not have to be filled with all of this drama. You don't have to deal with somebody with a baby mama at all, or a baby mama they don't get along with, or that you don't get along with, or whatever. Before she even had a child in this situation herself, I'm pretty sure that there was some sort of issue with this baby mama, and you had a chance to back out of this relationship and move on to something that was more positive for your life. You know, it's this, I just see people every day creating, it may not result in this, but this making these decisions, being so desperate to be in a relationship, making these terrible life decisions when you really could just go and find you somebody else. If this dude was having what type of contentious relationship with his baby mama or whatever, which I am pretty sure all of that was going on before you had any kid with this man, you should have walked away from this situation. It should have never come to this. Now you're going to lose your freedom. This woman has lost her life, which I don't think you care about that, but I'm pretty sure you care about your freedom. And your child or children has lost their mother because this is like capital 1, I believe they said, a murder charge, unaliving charge. She gonna be gone. She might not ever see daylight again. This is not like a manslaughter, you know. So none of this was worth this. I don't know what was going on with these two demented people that they decided that they were going to get rid of this woman somehow. I don't know what was happening where they felt it was that serious to do that. The only thing I could think of is maybe this was a custody issue, because why not just stop talking to her? So it kind of sounds like maybe he wanted the kid and he didn't want to just walk away. So yeah, this is just sad on so many levels. You got kids that lost their mom. You got a pregnant lady in jail. All this over some stupid relationship drama that didn't even have to be. Because as I said, when you realize that there was some drama going on before you had any kid, you should have been like, this ain't the dude for me. I'm going to find somebody that does not have all this going on because I want positive things for my life.
That part.
Yeah.
That part. And apparently she had no kids before him. So that part. So this whole baby at the time, because now it's 3 months later. So what's that? 9 months, right? Or 8 months, 9 months, right? And now you're pregnant. You're 7 weeks pregnant. And you thought the judge was going to care about you being a week, 7 weeks, 2 months, whatever, honey. You got to go to jail. You took somebody's life.
No, I think she thought, because she doesn't understand the law, that this was self-defense, but her life was not being threatened. She wasn't, even from our understanding, being physically attacked at the time that she did what she did. You cannot come back
in the chokehold.
Yeah, you cannot come back after the fight and pow someone. That is not self-defense. Self-defense would be if she had you down on the ground and just was beating you mercilessly, and you were just trying to get her off of you. And even then, you're not necessarily trying to unalive this person. You're just trying to stop them.
Let me roll into the next story. I bet she got a lot to think about now behind bars. Let me roll into the next story. I'm going to get into this story where the lottery ticket scandal. Let's take a list. Let's take a look.
A top Tampa official has been fired after an FDLE investigation into a cash $20,000 lottery ticket and alleged scam to avoid child support payments. But tonight, Keith O'Connor's attorney says the city got it wrong. 10 Tampa Bay's Kristen Barbarisi explains what investigators found and why no criminal charges have been filed.
Keith O'Connor was the director of code enforcement for the city of Tampa until this investigation cost him his job. And while prosecutors say they can't prove criminal intent, the mayor says his conduct does not meet the standards expected of a city leader, something O'Connor's attorney strongly disagrees with. Tampa police weren't investigating Keith O'Connor, but while looking into one of his employees, Aubrey Pierce, they uncovered texts about a winning lottery ticket that O'Connor cashed. Mayor Castor says the city immediately referred the discovery over to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which then turned its findings over to the state attorney.
The state attorney, while finding that there was wrongdoing, there was not enough information for a successful prosecution.
According to a memo about the investigation, Pierce owed more than $70,000 in child support. Prosecutors wrote there was a strong presumption that having O'Connor cash the $20,000 ticket helped Pierce avoid those collections, but investigators couldn't prove criminal intent beyond a reasonable doubt. Castor says that doesn't change the city's responsibility, and O'Connor was fired Tuesday.
There was enough information there that no matter how you slice it, the actions were inappropriate.
O'Connor's attorney strongly disputes both the findings and the city's decision.
He didn't do anything wrong.
He says O'Connor has a long history of helping Pierce financially and was owed the money.
He bought him a car. He fixed his car. He gave him gas money. He gave him 5 times the money that we're talking about in this lotto ticket.
And this isn't the first time O'Connor has been drawn into controversy. He appeared in the 2022 golf cart body cam video that led to his wife, former police chief Mary O'Connor, stepping down. Fernandez says O'Connor never expected to lose his job and is considering legal action.
How can he see it coming if he didn't do anything wrong?
Aubrey Pierce, who won that lottery ticket, remains suspended as he's investigated for unrelated allegations. Reporting in Tampa, Kristen Barbarisi, 10 Tampa Bay News.
Ooh, it's a hot stinking mess.
As we come on the air, we're tracking breaking news on a story we've been following for months. Tonight, the city of Tampa confirmed the firing of its code enforcement director, Keith O'Connor, after investigation. He is the husband of Tampa's former police chief who stepped down after a separate controversy. O'Connor is accused of cashing a $20,000 winning lottery ticket purchased by one of his employees, Aubrey Pierce. Investigators say if Pierce cashed the check himself, the proceeds would have been seized to cover outstanding child support payments that he owed. The issue was uncovered after Pierce was arrested during a separate investigation. Now, we spoke to O'Connor's attorney, Ralph Fernandez, in October when O'Connor was suspended with pay.
No, he absolutely didn't do anything wrong. Some people say, listen, if you help somebody on the street, you shouldn't do that.
We did reach out to Fernandez again tonight, and he maintained that position over the phone, talking only to 10 Tampa Bay News. When asked about possible legal action against the city, he told us, quote, "We have so many options, like a kid at a candy store. We took the high road and they took the low road. We have no complaints about the FDLE investigation. No one interviewed O'Connor." The state attorney's office declined to file criminal charges against O'Connor due to insufficient evidence, but the city of Tampa made the decision to terminate him, saying his actions merited his dismissal. In a statement, Mayor Jane Castor said, in part, "The community we serve expects and deserves the highest standards from all city employees, especially those in leadership positions." Pierce is still suspended tonight. Now, you may recognize Keith O'Connor's wife, Mary O'Connor. She was the former chief of Tampa Police, but resigned in December of 2022, just months after she was hired for the job. It all happened because of this traffic stop on her golf cart in 2022. In the video, O'Connor showed the Pinellas County deputy her credentials and told him she was the police chief in Tampa, saying, quote, "I hope you let us go tonight." O'Connor later resigned, saying she realized how the matter could be viewed as inappropriate, but said it was certainly not her intent. You can see our full report about what led up to Keith O'Connor's firing and previous comments from his attorney right now on 10tampabay.com.
All right. So hold on one second. Hope you was able to follow, but if not, I give a briefing. Give 1 minute. So Florida official fired for cashing employees' 20K lottery ticket 3 years after police chief wife resigned in disgrace. So a Florida official was fired for allegedly cashing his employees' $20,000 winning lottery ticket 3 years after his wife resigned as police chief for trying to use her position to get him out of a traffic stop. Tampa Code Enforcement Director Keith O'Connor was canned Tuesday following an investigation by Florida Department of Law Enforcement that found he allegedly colluded with his employee, Aubrey Pierce. O'Connor is believed to have cashed in the ticket for Pierce, a services attendant who with code enforcement because the worker was behind on child support payments and would have had the reward seized if he did it himself. So he was trying to help a brother out. Officials began looking into the lottery ticket after they discovered text message and phone records between the two men during the investigation into Pierce, which was who was accused of accepting bribes in exchange for allowing dumping on city property. Pierce, who was hired by the city in February 2023, was arrested in August and charged with multiple felonies, including bribery by a public servant, unlawful disposal of hazardous waste, grand theft, in violation of Florida little law, according to court records viewed by the Post. He has pleaded not guilty to the bribery and litter charges. O'Connor was placed on paid administrative leave at the beginning of the investigation in September. The FDLE handed over the findings of the lottery ticket investigation to prosecutors, who are not filing charges against O'Connor, citing insufficient evidence for a successful prosecution, according to the news. Now, this is Pierce. The other guy was trying to help him out because he was behind in child support. The head enforcement boss was still fired by his supervisors because of his actions. Our organization is built on professionalism, accountability, and integrity, Tampa Mayor Jane Castor said, according to the outlet. The community we serve expects and deserves the highest standards from all city employees, especially those in leadership positions. Pierce remains an employee of the city, but is currently under suspension and awaiting the results of a disciplinary hearing. He had an extensive rap sheet before he was hired by the city, including previous charges for grand theft and burglary. In 2013, he wrote a letter to a judge asking to be released from jail because of his future employment in the government. This thing is crazy. I have a good job waiting on me with the city of Tampa, Pierce wrote, thanks to the help of Mayor Keith O'Connor of the Tampa Police Department. O'Connor's wife, former Tampa Police Chief Mary O'Connor, resigned in disgrace after she unsuccessfully used her influence to get her husband out of a ticket for operating an unregistered golf cart. The then 51-year-old flashed her badge at the county deputy and asked to just let us go, according to the viral body cam footage. Mary O'Connor served as Tampa's police chief for 10 months before she was placed on leave and subsequently resigned. I never want my personal mistake to stand in the way of the progress I have made in mending relationships between the police department and the community. So for that reason, I'm resigning. Her resignation letter said, according to the news. Now, this is a hot stinking mess. I hope you followed along with the story. It's a little convoluted, but Felicia, your thoughts? He was just trying to help a brother out.
It sounds like he was helping himself out. Sounds like his wife helped him out because when she resigned, he got hired and he continued to break the law, to do things in a manner that was not ethical. He already had a relationship with this guy, Pierce. It's interesting how they both got charged with very similar crimes in the past. So it sounds like it's a ring. I forget what you call a ring of criminals, but that's what it sounds like to me. And I don't think they were concerned that it was just 20,000 or 2,000. I think they've probably done that before. Who would have ever thought that you're going to turn over your lottery ticket winnings to so-and-so because you don't want to pay child support? Meanwhile, so you're telling them they should pay the taxes on it. So what it would have been? You were going to get $4,000? We're doing all this with $4,000? Oh, no. We do a whole lot of stuff. We do a whole lot of breaking the law. I'm going to write the judge and tell the judge, listen, they're waiting for me to come help them continue to break laws. So I gotta leave out of here. And they hired a convicted criminal. These are people in law enforcement. There is a whole lot wrong here.
Yeah, you're right.
They all need to be gone from this job. You know, Florida is really, it's gotten to a place where everybody's in it. Nobody seems to have an honest day down there. It's just bad, and they're really good at creating new ways to scam the government and scam other people. They're really good at it. I'm done.
Thank you. But you want to know what's wild too? This judge, he wrote a letter to the judge, and the judge was like, okay, you can go.
Because the judge is part of the ring. It's a ring.
Oh.
They're in law enforcement. The guy's in jail. You go to this judge. You say this. He gave their names according to what you read to us. He gave the names of people he's going to go work for.
He did.
So the judge goes, yeah, I know them. They're good people. Yeah, I want you to go get your job.
But Julius, your thoughts?
It must be too much gator meat and hot sauce because it is just the foolery today. The foolery. Conspiring. stealing. Blasphemy, I tell you. Blasphemy. Okay, back to my little joke aside. Definitely abuse of power. And in the video, his Lord Jesus forgive me. The bimbo of the wife tried to act all cute, like, well, you know, he didn't do anything wrong. They probably sick of him. I'm sick of him, and I don't even know the man. I'm sick of him. I'm glad he lost his job. Well, he's still employed, but anywho.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
So we dealing with a bunch of dumb idiots. The wife lost her whole pension for a golf cart. Child, the ticket can't be that bad on a golf cart. You lose your whole pension, your whole retirement plan for a golf cart? It's cool. Now, this is where we need justice for Darius McCrary, okay? They locked him up on not pay his child support. And I don't think his was at $70,000, Diva. This man, $70,000 in child support unpaid, and he still got his government job. He's still in law enforcement. And then he get another idiot to cash a check. I wonder how much this ticket he got for the cashing it. Because it couldn't have been very much. Because you dividend this up, they ain't got number what? If they split it equally, $6,000. Child, I'm telling you, this is a bunch of dummies if I've never seen it. This is the craziest story I've ever heard of. I don't know what's going on in Florida, but y'all need some help down there.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Felicia. It's a little ring they got going on down there. Because, as in my opinion, said $70,000 and you still not in jail. And you wanted, instead of you just getting the $20,000 that you want, instead of giving it to your kids, you tried to do another way, a legal way to get the money yourself. And then you working. So how many kids do you got? I mean, what was the child support amount that you're supposed to start paying with? This is sick on all levels. And the police, the chief of police, she ain't losing because of the golf cart. She lost her license, which she left the office because she was trying to let them know that she was the chief of the police, so she wouldn't get a ticket, so they wouldn't give her a ticket. So I guess after that, she was trying to throw her weight around and realized that she was on the body cam, and so she felt embarrassed that she had to leave. That she was trying to get out of a ticket off of a golf cart. Both of all them folks need to be in jail. I don't understand how none of them out. How can you be a crook and be this stupid? Like, these people weren't gonna find out it's you. And how did they find out that he wanted the money and not him? This is some crazy mess. Because when you go down there, you got to sign that ticket. So did he go back and snitch? The man tried to keep all the money or something. This is just so weird on so many levels. Because if you went down there and you got the ticket, you got to sign your name on the ticket, and you there to get the money. So did somebody snitch and say that he didn't win because the man didn't give him his money or something? I am so confused with these. I'm done. I can't even logic. I can't even get it out. I'm done.
Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, lock them up. These are some dumb criminals, really all of them. Just dumb and corrupt and committing unnecessary crimes. This wasn't even that much money, and you should have paid the child support. Bye.
That part. And you, instead of him thinking, but you know what, he just don't want to pay. Instead of him thinking, I'll be $20,000, it won't even be the whole $20,000 because you ain't going to get $20,000. But I'm gonna be $10,000, $15,000 less than child support. He rather commit a crime. But listen, he was a criminal before he even started working there. And shame on the judge that let him out. So yes, I am leaning towards they was all in cahoots together because this is a hot stinking mess. Now, I'm going to go ahead and roll into our last story. Go ahead, Felicia.
Thank you, Diva. I know your last story is a happy story. So I'd like to bring this to the panel, you and the chat, based on the first story about the father, the boyfriend who was involved in this heinous crime. I had made the statement that now he's witness number one, and that means he is working with the state. And my co-counsel, thank you, co-counsel, supported me in that statement. And so you said, well, we don't know that. So I found the article from Patch Law that talks about the proffer agreement that he has signed with the prosecution office, granting him limited immunity and lesser charges as long as he tells the truth and he provides evidence and testimony against the defendant. And I'll be more than happy to send you the article. So I don't tend to just speak because I talk. I do talk a lot, but I knew that there was some kind of agreement. He was identified as witness one for the prosecution. And so there is a proffer agreement. That's something very similar to what what's his name? What's our guy out there in LA?
Keefe D.
Keefe D, yeah. And then Keefe D lied and breached the agreement. So this guy is in that same situation. So he has decided that he is going to present evidence, testimony, and he is going to go against the woman that he's been laying with. If it's true that she's 7 weeks, he's been engaging in intimacy with her while he has been working with the prosecution and the state.
Nasty work. Yeah, you can send me the article. So if everybody, y'all, if you follow me long enough, yes, I am going to say when I do not have the evidence and I did not read it myself or it did not come out on the news thing, I got to say, I don't know that or we don't know that because this is my channel and they're going to come for me. And that is why I always use an article or always have a news clipping so that that is the information that is presented. And that is the information that I speak on. So if there's more information, I always welcome it. If somebody actually has the other information, but if somebody else continues a conversation and I didn't present that information, yes, I am 100% going to say something because it is my channel and they will come for me. If that is the case and he signed this proper agreement, I agree with you. I'm 50 gold, nasty work. Especially since you dropped your seed in that baby. And that is sickening to know. So like the newscaster said, you lost everything over some man that wasn't worth a dime. So now you locked up and he is going to speak against you. And he allegedly had this chick in a chokehold.
Yeah. So it's not, if I may, it's not that I don't disagree that this was some kind of premeditated plan with the two of them, meaning, what's her name? Miss Johnson and this gentleman. I don't know his name, I don't think. But when someone, again, invites you into immoral behavior, they don't care for you and they don't love you. So she's laying with this man and he's working with the prosecution. So he's home for Christmas. He'll see the ball drop. He'll have holiday dinner. He'll probably have the 2 children with him. And you're incarcerated and the other one is gone from this earth. It's a lot to think about as human beings, as women, when we make these decisions to not only be with and spend time with, but lay down with these men and have children and leave all of this trauma behind. Thank you, Diva.
Woo, child. I believe in a proffer. You can only speak about it under oath. Keefe D made a whole media tour. Yeah, that's why he's in trouble now. That's why he's locked up now. And his case is not happening until, matter of fact, we probably, not too long. It's happening soon. And I forgot what month in 2026. All I could say is yikes. Let me roll into this last story. So dad spends $200K to rescue daughters from astronomically high New York City rent. He just wants better for us. So Jamal, a married father of 4, would give his kids the world if he could. In today's economy, he practically is spending $200,000 to build his eldest daughters, Jamila, 27, and I don't want to mess up her name, 26, customized apartments in his 2,600 square foot home in Potomac, Maryland, to help them avoid paying thousands on New York City rent. It was a pricey yet no-brainer decision that the doting dad, who's the owner of Blank LLC, a construction company, came to this summer after learning Jamila had been paying $2,200 a month for a flat, 3-bedroom apartment in Cobble Hill, and the other daughter was forking out $2,800 for a studio in downtown Brooklyn. The choice was obvious for me, Jamal, 61, told the Post. I've always wanted my daughters to move back home. He launched the home renovation turned passion project in July, first transforming his basement into Jamila's personal space. I updated the lower level of our home from an unfinished basement to an 1,100 square foot 1-bedroom apartment, said Jamal, fully en suite with a full bathroom with heated floors, a media room, a 6-seat theater, gym, wet bar, and recreation room. Jamila, a lover of interior design, cherry-picked the marble tiles, wood finishes, and fine furnishings for her lair. In exchange for dumping her city residency, the other sister gets her own private wing of the family house, courtesy of Dear Old Dad. It's a 600 square foot studio, fully en suite with a kitchenette, Jamal said. He's decking out the digs with a swanky bathroom, bedroom, closet, and lounge space. How does she get less square footage than the sister? Okay, I'm sorry. We also are doing a 440 square foot 2-car garage for the girls. Bragg, the pro builder, who happily spent all my free time during the evenings and weekends redesigning his abode for the oldest of his bride. The house was 2,600 square feet before we started all of this, said Jamal, and now it's 4,500 square feet. With the project underway, one sister is living in her childhood bedroom until the new apartment is complete, most likely by early 2026. Not having to pay rent or electricity has been amazing. Bunking up with mom and dad to save a few bucks is what millennials and Gen Zers like his girls do best. There he is. With the cost of living in the U.S. at a fever pitch, seeing the average Big Apple rent exceed $4,600 per month, a whopping 1.5 million more adults under age 35 are residing with their parents compared to a decade ago, per recent reports. The cushy setup might be ideal for these young adults, but not for their parents' finances, according to ThriveVet study. Researchers found that 38% of parents with adult children at home have seen their retirement savings take a hit, while 39% say it affected their ability to save for near-term goals like travel, home repairs, or paying for health care. One sister, however, tells the Post that their dad and mom, Katie, see her and Jamila return to the nest as a blessing rather than a burden. I moved to New York right after college, and ever since, they've been begging us to move back home. Laughed the one sister, a tech engineer who lives in the concrete jungle for the past 2 years, where her sister Jamila, who is a pharmaceutical marketing, called Gotham home for the last 4 years. And just like that, the sisters officially left the barrels this fall. It's not necessary for me to be in the city, said Jamila, who works as a remote and ad expert. I decided to make an adult decision and really think about my future. And if I have the option to save money, I might as well just take advantage of it, she added. The cash she stashed since moving home in September, just under $10,000, has given Jamila complete financial freedom. It's great not having to pay rent. I have so much disposable income, she gushed. I can travel, prioritize myself, and really enjoy my 20s without having that heavy responsibility. The other sister who also works from home agrees. I love to travel, and I was coming home from the city every 2 weeks, and it didn't make sense to keep paying rent when I almost was never in my apartment, she added. It's an expensive upgrade that the youngest daughter, 23, a recent graduate of Boston University who moved home after college, has chronicled online, sharing visuals of the revamp with over 465,000 stunned media viewers. I don't think I could play that because of the music, but there they are showing how the renovations are coming along. A lot of people really resonated with the content. Some were commenting, hey, maybe I should move home. Another told the Post, and that's been the most beautiful part of sharing our family story with the internet, inspiring others. For now, the three sisters, as well as younger brother, 18, who all contribute to the household needs and upkeep, are each squirreling away portions of their respective funds to buy homes of their own someday. We're so grateful to our parents for giving us this opportunity to live at home and save money, Jamila said. We would have been fine living in New York and paying high rent, but our parents want better for us, and we want more for ourselves in the future. So there's that story. Felicia, your thoughts?
I love it. I love that story. I believe parents, when you can help and you can make a difference, absolutely. They wanted to be home. Their parents wanted the home. They all like each other. They just need space. They got equivalent space. Nobody gave up income. They all work remotely. God bless them. I wish everyone had parents like that.
I do too. Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
Such a beautiful story. And I gotta say, I think they're finished with their design, right?
The father owns a construction company.
Well, the design he came up with, I'm a little jealous Betty, because the design of that shower, okay, that tile work. I love it. And the fact that they're able to save funds, to have some them time to themselves, to travel, or to even go to the bookstore and buy a book if they want to. Like, it's the small things when you don't have to pay such a high price tag for something. That's the blessing.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Julius. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So this is how you create generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they did it back in the old days. You know, people didn't move out until they got essentially their own family. They stayed with their parents. You know, my auntie stayed with my grandma till she was in her 40s. So this is how you create generational wealth. You want to know? This is how they do it. They all stay in one house. They upgrade it as they need to as these kids get older. And they keep all their money in the household. Therefore, everybody can save their own coin. And when they do have their own family of their own, they'll have their nest egg to go out and get them a house of their own and live comfortably.
Like it. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad this dad and mom doing this for them kids. Coming out of college, they got to pay back these student loans, then paying on top of this hotel rent. I mean, like, how could they see it? And people losing jobs back and forth. I mean, back to back from each other. I love this story. I really do. And we hope that more people would do things like this to help the family members. As Felicia said before, beginning of this year, maybe the kids can stay home with the parents, until they can get themselves on good footing. I think this is just good. I mean, this is great. A lot of parents want the kids out 18, you got to go find your own spot. This is so great. He sees that his children is just wasted money because when you paying rent, that's money you can never get back. So you can have that money invested, and by the time you get through doing what you need to do, you can get a house. You know what I mean? And that money can go towards a house note instead of going towards a rent note. That's something that you're never going to see again. So yeah, I like this. I like this very well. That's all I got.
Thank you. Callie?
Oh yeah, this is pretty dope. I really like it. I love his designs. Um, the thing with this is that I did not realize until I went to college, I went to an art school with a lot of people that were well off. That a lot of these people that I was envying and thought were doing so great, their parents were paying their rent. They either were paying their rent or had bought them a condo or something to live in as an investment property or something like that. So a lot of these people that I thought had these great, amazing careers and were doing so great, the parents were actually paying their rent. And I didn't even realize that until I was like 2 years into college. And I feel like I still haven't really caught up to those people, although my dad helped me a lot as well. So I can relate to this story. My only concern about when I hear things like this, when people are depending upon remote work, these companies getting rid of remote work, because I have friends that have actually relocated to purchase homes in cheaper areas that are working remotely, and now they're being laid off because obviously you can't come back to an office in Los Angeles if you have moved to North Carolina or Texas.
Right.
So luckily for them, they have their father and he's a business owner. If something goes left, maybe, they can take over the business. Who knows what may happen, or hopefully they'll be able to find other work. But there's kind of like a few stories layered inside of this one cool little story. But yeah, this is just another example of people moving away for something that's more affordable because they have remote work. But then you take the remote work away, now that option is not there. So now that I've moved with my parents or to a small town or whatever, so I could afford a home, now I don't have a job because you guys want people to come into an office for, I guess, to keep commercial real estate investors wealthy. That's the only reason I could think of. But yeah, this is an amazing story. I think it's so dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Callie. Listen, I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm definitely going to say connected to this Romeca Blackmon story. For this father to turn state's evidence, but that's what the girl get. You let him get you wrapped up in some nonsense. Now you about to do life, and he's going to be a witness to you doing life. I'll keep you posted. I'll dig a little more into that. The lottery ticket situation. Well, listen, it is what it is, right? And then, the dad with the daughters, blessings. I told my son, you have to go nowhere until you're financially stable and you can buy something on your own. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, do me a favor, hit it on the way out. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.